Hello, my friends. This is Reverend Jill Carey from Unity of Wimberley. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Glad you're here. This is the closest Thursday Facebook Live presentation that I'll do to the remembrance of 9/11 at its 20th anniversary. That day is this coming Saturday. So I just wanted to highlight something that to me has a very spiritual aspect to it, and people don't talk about it very much. It may sound a little morbid at the beginning, but just stay with me. I just read this week that two more victims of the 9/11 tragedy in New York, their remains were identified this week. Two people, right here on the eve of this 20th anniversary. And I'm reminded, if you've been to the 9/11 memorial in New York City, you know that in the Memorial Museum there is a special section for the medical examiner of New York, for the offices there, for the express purpose of identifying all the bits of remains that they recovered from the site 20 years ago and in the intervening years. To me, it is miraculous that this crew of medical examiners over the last 20 years have dedicated themselves to the purpose of identifying, I think it's over 22,000 remains. And as you can imagine, they're very small. In those intervening 20 years, the technology, DNA research, everything has evolved. And I am marveling at the perseverance of 20 years of an effort that seems Herculean, overwhelming, and that these medical examiners have continued their task, knowing from the day that they began this that the work would continue. Don't know if they knew it was going to take over 20 years to do it, but they had the faith that they would continue to get the job done, not knowing, of course, what the advances in technology in DNA research would be, not knowing if the families of whoever's bodies they identified would still be there wanting to know. I would imagine that it would bring closure to families, but I am not in that position. So I am appreciative of these mostly unsung heroes who have toiled away for 20 years, maybe not the same personnel, but the same mission for sure, that they still have over 40% of the people that died that day with no verification, over 40%. And yet this team of physicians, this team of medical people, staff, doctors, are continuing their work with the vision of closure, with the vision of bringing some relief to the families if they can. And they've endured all this time. I think they maybe get overlooked. I think it's amazing for us to reflect on the fact that people have been doing this job for 20 years with that same focus, with that same vision of caring for the deceased and their families. So I just wanted to bring that example to us today because it's proved to me that no matter what our vision is, if we stay the course in our vision, things will evolve that can assist us, or else they'll tell us we can't continue on this path. In this particular case, their vision has continued to play out. The technology has continued and evolved to support them doing it. And I just want to say thank you to those medical examiners over 2 decades doing this work. At the same time, we remember today that our country, our lives, the world was changed forever 20 years ago. And so we take a moment, anytime between now and the next few days, just take a moment to remember all those who, whether they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, or if they were the first responders who ran into danger and lost their lives doing so, that we remember them. We remember. And we continue to pray for their families. We continue to honor their memories. And we continue to work for a peaceful world. A peaceful world. Thank you for being with me today. Thank you for supporting Unity of Wimberley. I will see you next week at the same time, 1 p.m. Central Time, for these midday reflections. I really appreciate that you're with me when you are. Have a great day. Have a blessed day. Remember, and peace on you and your world. See you next week. Bye.